Good evening, everyone, and welcome back again for another round of the Ferrari 33 SP. And if y'all can't tell already, we are here at the fantastic Le Mans. How you doing, Billy and Cadwell? Already showing up in the chat. It's great to see y'all in here, keeping me company. Yeah, I was just fixing to say that the admins saved the best tracks for the last 3 races, in my opinion, for these cars. This week we're here at Le Mans. Next week will be Silverstone, and the final race will be at Spa. So, yeah, the next 3 races are going to be absolutely fantastic, and of course, everyone has a lot on the line with the points and everything else. So the competition should be very fierce. And yeah, like I said, we are here at Le Mans. The track is 13.61 kilometers or 8.46 miles. An incredible 38 turns, most of which are incredibly high speed. We're going to see these cars just absolutely flying around this track. Actually, as soon as I get this done, I'll get the speedo up there so we can see. As always, they have 10 minutes of practice, 10-minute qualifying, which, given the length of the track, I believe they're only going to have enough time to get maybe 2, possibly 3 laps in, so they're really going to have to nail it on qualifying. And of course, an approximate 80-minute race, it will be 21 laps. Like I said, it's a very long course, so it will most definitely run just over 1 hour long. And as always, as a reminder of last week's podium at Fuji, the winner was Alochamps in first, Red 15 took second, Faster took third, and Aguilator was named driver of the day. Just a second, and I'll get that speedo up there real quick before I cover the actual driver's points. There we go. I had to make sure I was back to the right screen. It didn't mess anything up too bad. Yes, we'll see. The cars will be absolutely flying, especially down the straights. There are a few very tricky turns. Right there, that's a very tricky one, but it's really important to make good lap times on. And I was talking about how little time they would have during qualifying. They have the same 10 minutes for practice, and we can see they're almost halfway through their practice time, and no one has yet to set a valid time. So they're out on their hot lap, and then just now getting on an actual timed lap now. We can see Dr. Fiend really flying there. Just over 140 miles, 150 miles an hour around through those turns. In the 130s through the S's. Absolutely fantastic. This is going to be an amazing race. These cars are going to be so fast here tonight. And let's go ahead and cover the driver's points. Of course, Alochamps is in the lead with 309 points, followed by Faster with 227, Flip with 205, ESR Chef with 186, Aguilator with 164, Red 15 with 155, Hodgker LGR with 145. See, a lot of these drivers' last 3 races are still really close on points. So, like I said, the competition is going to be absolutely fierce here tonight. We have Dr. Fiend with 124. Interceptor with 91. ID4 with 82. Snaker with 81, and I believe, yeah, Snaker was having some monitor issues, so he was not able to join us tonight. Manic UK with 68, and Mike HLB with 47. And that rounds out our points. And of course, as always, once we get down to the end of practice, I have SIG's standings loaded up, and we'll take a look at those and go over past races, driver performance, and team points as well. So we see now Agulator getting right up to about just under. He hit 179 before having to hit his brakes right there. So I definitely think we're going to see these cars running just under 200 miles per hour around this track. Yeah, Agulator's carried about 10 miles per hour more going into that turn than the last driver we saw. I believe it was Dr. Fiend was the last one we saw. He came into those S's running about 126, and Agulator came in running about 136. Let's have a look at Marcos, see how he's doing. Yep, and I'm just now looking on our GAVRA Racing Discord, and Snaker has posted a picture of what he is doing right now. Though I'm sure he'd much rather be racing, but he is definitely has to be having fun resetting up his rig to hold his monitors in the position that he wants them. I'm actually quite jealous. He's got a fantastic looking rig. So Agulator's gonna go on into the pits. We're down to the last 2 minutes of practice. Check in real quick on Flip. See what he gets up to before he has to hit his brakes into this right-hander down here. $175, 76. Oh, I was wrong. It's the left-hand chicane. I believe I saw 178 right there. So yeah, I'm sure most of the drivers have turned off a majority of their downforce for this track. And we are seeing drivers finally get some times in. Like I said, it's going to be really tough for the drivers to actually get a time in with what little time they have provided for qualifying and practice. But it looks like everyone is definitely still getting used to the track. We have a little bit of a spread right now for practice, but I believe Allo Champs is setting the 135 in practice. So I believe, I'm going to say we'll see most drivers between the 134 and 136. We may have a 137, but these drivers have always done really great at stacking themselves right up against each other. They really do prove every week why they are the E1 class here at GAVRA Racing. And since we're just about down to the end of that, and I am an extremely slow talker, we're going to go ahead and get the standings on up here. And it looks like we're starting with team points. And yes, that means I did not pay attention as to how I had these loaded in. Actually, it looks like I did not load a lot of them in. Very unfortunate. Definitely meant to. Anyway, for team points, we have in the lead is Toon Beetle, which is Flip and Allo Champs with 514 points. Second is Caro Coolio, 441 points. If you listened last week, I believe you heard me say how Caro Coolio was a very well-established team here at GAVRA Racing. Third is the Disconnection Kings, which were very aptly named at the beginning of the season. It was ESR Chef and our man Sig who makes these standings and maintains the GAVRA Racing Discord. So everybody give Sig a huge shout out for the work that he puts into all of this. I promise you it is not easy trying to keep several hundred of us organized on the Discord channel at this point. But Sig, of course, had a lot of internet issues with the PlayStation, so as Chef, that's how they became the Disconnection Kings. And Sig, unfortunately, had so many issues that he had to retire from the season and was replaced by Red 15. Fourth is LGR Motorsport, also a well-established team here at GAVRA Racing, and it is, of course, Hodgker LGR and ID4 LGR with 227 points. Fifth is Speed of Light, which is Interceptor and Dr. Fiend with 215 points. Sorry, everyone. I'm just trying to make sure that we're not missing too much of qualifying, or that we'll be actually back out of the lobby. Sixth is Super Racing Elite, which is Snaker and K Morse. Both drivers have been in GAVRA Racing for a very, very long time. And in seventh is M&M Racing, which is, of course, Manic HLB and Mike HLB and Manic UK. I get those two mixed up all the time, and that is definitely my fault. But enough of me rambling on about points. Y'all came here to see a race and watch these cars fly around this track, which they really are gonna do. But it looks like I have not talked long enough, and practice is still going because this is such a long track and I did not anticipate it. Oh, it looks like practice is finally over. Looks like Javier, our stand-in driver, had the fastest lap during practice, followed by Allo Champs and then ESR Chef with the third fastest lap. Dr. Fiend had the fourth fastest lap. Red 15 had the fifth fastest lap. And that was the top five. And now I will finally make the change over here because, yeah, I definitely did not load a couple of images that I thought I had, and did not talk long enough. Alright, so we're just waiting on some of the drivers to get out on track. Looks like ID4 is going to be one of our first drivers out on track. We'll stick with him for a minute. And while we stick with him, it is a great time for me to do my shameless GAVRA Racing advertisement. Go to the website. I was on there, what day is it? Thursday? I was on there Tuesday. No, I'm sorry, Monday after the McGann race. I got on there checking it out because I told everybody to go check it out, that I thought GAVRA had just added a bunch of new stuff, and sure enough, he has. He's been going through and giving the whole website a complete tune-up. Y'all should really go check it out. It's looking absolutely amazing. And there are links for everything on there, including the Discord channel, the Patreon link if you wish to become a Patreon supporter, because we are community driven. And there are also a massive amount of track stats, driver stats, the standings for the current running leagues, and everything else. It's incredible the amount of information he has on there. And also, all the links are also in the description below, and if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button, especially that subscribe button. Our goal by the end of this season was to get us up to 1,000 subscribers, and I believe when I looked this morning we were at 890, and while we have this week plus 2 more weeks to go, I still really believe we can pull off 110 subscribers in 2.5 weeks. So y'all definitely help us out, and yeah, hit that subscribe button. And Thomas is in the chat. Sorry y'all, I'm being quiet. I'm real quick catching up with him. Oh no, we shouldn't really see any crashes. This should be a lot of really great racing going on tonight. And Cadwell, I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you doing? That was a great job you and Diddix did yesterday on the Janetta LMP3 cars. When y'all are done watching this, y'all should go check it out. Cadwell and Diddix always do a great job, and it was an extra long race for them. Their races have now increased to 80 minutes, I believe. And it is possible that was I can't remember, it may have been the special 2-hour event as well, so it was a really long broadcast, and they did a great job for it, so y'all definitely go check it out. And make sure you check them out next Wednesday too, because like I said, we still have this week plus 2 to 3 more races to go. We're currently on shift, and I believe that we do have, yeah, we have Faster's cockpit cam loaded up in the bottom right. I believe he was the only driver that provided me with one this week. And of course, next season I plan on being able to change these around between multiple drivers. So, also during the in-between seasons, the administrators are doing a lot of revamping for the community, and it also gives me the opportunity to, of course, try to follow their lead and give the streams a little upgrade as well. Thank you very much, Cadwell. I appreciate it. And Cadwell, I do have to say, while you're on here, and I don't mind saying it on air, one of my favorite things about you is you are pretty much trouble-free. You are one of those, kind of like Cypher Knight and some of the other ones. I can really go with the, I haven't heard from them, so nothing is wrong. If I hear from them, something's wrong, but unless there's something wrong, they don't bother me. Alright, so let's go up here to the top. Still have no drivers yet to set a time. Halfway through qualifying now. During practice, we did see him only manage to get in, like I said, just maybe the one, possibly two timed laps, so it's going to be really tough on him. Let's see if we can find Faster at the moment, since we have his cockpit camera up there. And I do anticipate Faster being caught up in some great battles tonight. And also, let me get the speedo up here, so we can again see how fast these drivers are going around the track. Like I said, we know the cars are going to be very, very fast. Just under 4 minutes left in qualifying. Drivers still have not yet to set a time. So while they do that, we've already covered points. So let's just go back through and we'll do another quick introduction of all the drivers while we wait on someone to actually start setting some times. It's going to be really tough for them to get some laps in and really set an actual representable time. Like I said, Javier is a stand-in for the night. If I was a better commentator, I could tell you who he was replacing, but I'm not a better commentator. A lot of the other guys do actually do a lot better job at keeping up with some of that stuff than I do. So I guess I'm kind of like downing myself and bragging on them. We have Agulator tonight. As always, Agulator, like I said earlier, pulled in second last week. He's been having a really good season. Marcos has been having a good season. He is very fast. I've had the pleasure of driving against him a few times. He's very difficult on track to get around, and he puts on a lot of pressure if you have him behind you. Here, flip. There we've had a few drivers. I think they've changed, some of the names changed around there. Yep, there we go. We have got a few drivers starting to put in some times. We have Flip was in the GT3s with me. He is also there he is. Very talented driver. We have Dr. Fiend. He's ran, I believe, 2 seasons with us here at GAVRA Racing so far, and is definitely earned his way right into the E1 class. Like I said earlier, Red 15 came in a little late and replaced our man Sig, and Red 15 really came in and just started killing it on points and has managed to find himself sitting up towards the top of the grid coming down to the end of the season. So I believe he's going to end up finishing really good despite having started late, which is absolutely fantastic. I love to see the drivers be able to do that. And of course we have ESR Chef, who is one of my personal favorites. Of course, that does actually have a good bit to do. The chef is actually, he's a great guy, but him being one of my personal favorites does have a lot to do with, he was Fanabaw's favorite driver to watch and commentate on. And most of y'all that have been with the community for a while remember who Fanabaw's was, and we worked together for quite some time. Alright, so we're just about down to the end of qualifying. So we've got Javier with a 335, Faster with a 336. As I said, the drivers are doing a great job of stacking themselves up. Marcos with a 336. Alochamps with a 337. Aguilator's running a 338. Red is also running a 338. ID4 at a 339. Oh, they moved around a little bit on me. Flip Flip also a 339. Dr. Fiend a 340. Manic UK with a 341. Hotchker also 341. Our man Chef is still getting his tires warm. Y'all better believe it. Come race time, this man's going to be up towards the front. Currently running a 352. And, of course, Mike HLB is... wow, I don't believe he is yet to set a time. Like I said, they're really strapped for time. They only get about 1, maybe 2 good laps, and it is really easy to invalidate it. Though I never did see the time come up. He may have been in the pit playing with his setup a little bit, getting a little fine-tuning in right before qualifying. I know I find myself doing that all the time. So that may have cost him a little, if he was doing that, that cost him a little bit of time, and is why he is yet to set a time, which actually I believe is much more the case versus invalidating the lap. I believe he did sit in the pit for a little while longer. And so Flip Flip has decided he's got a good enough time, along with Alochamps, Marcos. Yep. We're just about done with qualifying. We're seeing a lot of the drivers coming on in to the pit to get their short break before the race and just do those final touch-ups for your setup, because even when you have your car set up and you're really loving it, you get out there on race day, you do your practicing, your qualifying, and there's usually 1 or 2 little tweaks that you want to go in there and change. Just a couple little minor settings to help it suit the actual track at hand, because even though we practice with it set at the date and time, the way the world works, the track is still going to be just slightly different, just a little bit different conditions. And of course the temperatures up in the right hand corner are correct. And let me go ahead, yep, as I said, Faster is doing exactly what I said he was, some of the drivers would probably be doing, and he is checking his tune-up, so we'll take him off the screen, give him some privacy there. And of course, wow, Javier Ranz put himself in first. Our stand-in driver's doing an amazing job there. Alochamps in second. Faster will start in third. Fourth will be Marcos. Fifth is ESR Chef, and that's our top 5. Sixth is Aguilator. Seventh is Red 15. Eighth is Dr. Fiend. Ninth is ID4. 10th Flip Flip. 11th is Manic UK. 12th is Hodgker. 13th is Mike HLB. And that rounds out our grid. So now we have just a minute while the drivers load in, and this track has a lot of room to be able to relax going down the straights, but it's a very demanding track on the drivers. It's very hard to stay focused. So the drivers are definitely going to be taking advantage of this short little break here, as I don't blame them. I always take full advantage of it, and I also am going to take quick advantage of it while they get synced in and do their final little touch-ups and grab me a swallow of water, so I'm prepared for all these drivers coming off of the line. Alright, I believe that's a good enough break for me. I felt bad about just sitting here making y'all listen to the cars just sit here on the start. So yeah, real quick, we are here at Le Mans, 21 laps. Track temperature is 103 degrees Fahrenheit or 39 degrees Celsius. We've got an air temperature of 84 degrees Fahrenheit or 29 degrees Celsius. So the track is actually quite warm. Thankfully, with Le Mans, you can run a very low downforce. So I do kind of suspect a lot of the drivers still will be carrying, or running rather, these soft compound tires, though I can also bet that several of them have decided to go with the hards. We've seen some big mix-ups in, or not mix-up, big differences in pit stop strategies throughout this season. Some are going to take one pit stop, some are going to take two, and Tomas, I believe I'm saying that a little bit more correctly now, says good luck to everyone in the race, and they are definitely going to need it. This is going to be a great race. I'm positive. They have yet to let us down. Oh, and there we are. Looks like we are finally starting to sink on in. Don't think it's going to show me the lights. It's not, but they are off. Javier still in the lead, followed by Alachamp's Faster in third. Ooh, Faster set himself into second. Alachamp's now in third. ESR in Chef in fourth. Marcos is fifth. Agulator. Ooh, Dr. Fiend has made his way into sixth. Agulator has fallen down to eighth. Flip up into seventh. Hodgker is ninth. Red is 10th. Manic has fallen down to 13th. Hollisher's made his way up into 9th. Red is still holding on to 10th. ID4's 11th. And, in the back there, Manic and Mike are really swapping places faster than I can keep up with them. Javier is taking full advantage of getting a good start and getting himself already almost a 2-second gap, and it's going to leave Faster, ESR, Chef, and Marcos all piled up right behind him to battle it out. It looks like Faster's managed to get himself a little bit of space. Right, oh no, actually he hasn't. He has ESR Chef all over him. ESR Chef's going to go for it down the straight. He did have the boost from the slipstream. They should be coming up on the fast left. I really don't want to call these chicanes. They're a little too fast to be a chicane. Of course, let's go ahead and get Faster's camera back up there. Thank you very much, Tomas. I was hoping I was getting it a little bit more correct. Needless to say, with my very southern and American accent, I really tend to butcher people's names, and I really don't mean to. Oh, as we've got ESR, Chef, Faster, and Dr. Fiend. Oh, I believe that's Marcos actually going 3 wide down into the other fast left. Oh, as we did have one in the back spin around. I believe that may have been Dr. Fiend. Yes, it was. He has now fallen back to the back of the pack. They were really pushing it coming into that turn. It looked like he just spun it out. There was no contact from what I could tell. So all the drivers really pushing hard. Again, right here. Marcos, ESR, Chef were coming too wide into this one. Right behind them, I believe that is Flip and Agulator too wide into the turn. And right here we have lined up Faster, Marcos, and ESR Chef right behind them. It's going to be really important to stay in each other's slipstream. And that is Marcos and Faster side by side. They're coming in up to the slow turns. Faster got a little bit wide there, but managed to keep it on track. Oh no, Marcos went way too deep, had a little trouble with his brakes. He was carrying a lot of speed there. And of course, he had a car on the inside, was not quite able to get where he wanted to be on the track. It looks like they traded a little bit of paint there between Marcos and maybe Alochamps, I believe that was, but that looked to be all in good fairness and good driver fun. Just a little bit of paint swapping. Nothing wrong with that. I have to say the field is covered in battles at the moment. I really need to go back here and check in the back on the backfield. Yeah, because we have Agulator, Manic, Red, Hodgker, and ID4 still right on top of each other, and all the way at the back of the grid, still Dr. Fiend right on top of, I believe that is Mike HLB in the that Dr. Fiend is putting pressure on at the moment. So yeah, Red right here, right behind Manic. He is receiving a lot of pressure from Hodgker though at the moment. And Hodgker is also trying to keep ID4 fended off while keeping the pressure on Red. It's very difficult to do. This is a very, very fast track, running almost no downforce. These cars are going to be extremely hard to handle. And now I'm out of breath. So let's go back up here real quick, check in on the top, or the leaders here. Chef's still right there behind Faster, managing to stay in the slipstream. It's going to be very important to stay in your opponent's slipstream. Once you get outside of it, it's really going to allow them to run away and make up a big gap. You really need that guy in front of you to punch a good hole in the air for you and let you just follow right behind him. Flip still managing to keep up with Marcos. He's staying in his slipstream. Looks like all our action now is in the back of the field, as we have 9th through 13th literally right on top of each other here. We have Red in 9th. He is right behind. Ooh, I'm sorry. It is 8th through 13th right on top of each other. So we have Manic UK in 8th, receiving a lot of pressure from Red at the moment. Red is doing everything he can to keep Hodgker fended off in 10th. Hodgker is trying to keep up with Red, but keep ID4 in 11th fended off. And then this is just a repeat. The ID4 is doing the exact same thing and trying to keep Mike HLB fended off. And Mike is also receiving a lot of pressure from Dr. Fiend. And I must say, none of these drivers are anyone I would be able to drive nice, cool, calm, and confidently with them being so close behind me. Not for fear of a wreck, but because they are that good. They are all very, very talented drivers. As we can see, they have a nice little train going on down around the track. I believe if they can keep up with each other, we could see this battle in the back of the field go through most of the race. This championship is more about endurance than a few laps anyway. So really them just getting comfortable behind each other, not going for the move unless they just really, the pass slaps you in the face and says, here I am, you're gonna have to take me. Sticking behind your opponent and going with it is going to be very beneficial. And of course, as I say that, Red 15 has decided he is not going to wait that long. He wants by Manic. As we saw, he was able to take advantage of the slipstream and get right up on top of Manic's car. Almost had his front arrow parked right up under Manic's rear arrow. And yes, now that I said it, that sounds very, very odd. These two now going side by side. Manic did manage to keep out to the front there. It looked like they were trying to keep each other a little squeezed. And I've got to go up here and check on Marcos in 4th, who is trying his best to keep Alochamps in 5th fended off. And Alochamps is trying to get himself away from Flip Flip, though he is having a very difficult time trying to get that achieved. Though Agulator now has snuck up behind Flip Flip in 7th and is within the 1 second mark, so that may put enough pressure on Flip Flip to allow Alochamps to get a little bit of a gap between them. Just real quick, let's go up here and check in on our leaders. Javier has managed to get himself a 6.5 second gap. We are definitely going to have to check this car as well for a F1 engine, though I believe it may already basically have one. It may not be a lot for us to really look for. Maybe a bottle of nitrous under the seat, though already with the gap he has achieved, we better check for 2 bottles of nitrous under his seat. Faster still in 2nd, but there we have ESR Chef is setting himself to try to go for the outside move. They should be coming up to the fast left. I get it wrong every time. It was the fast right. Yep, Faster did a very good job of keeping ESR Chef squeezed to the side there, so he wasn't quite able to get his car in the position he wanted to be able to make the move. Alochamp still right there on top of Marcos. Here's Agulator is our first driver to pick up a penalty, and that camera guy needs to stop hanging out in the bushes drinking beer while there's no cars around, because the cars are going by and he's missing it. I believe that is exactly what we're seeing a little bit of, Tomas. They're being really smart backing out of it, and really trying to check each other out to see if they can set it up for the switchback. Or, as some call it, the undercut, which is just, when you get that move right, oh, it feels so fantastic. It's a great move to pull off. ID4 is still managing to keep up with Manic. And yep, now Dr. Fiend in 10th has caught back up to ID4. Red is not very far behind them. Red has Hodgker right on top of him. And something must have happened, and it caused Mike HLB to really... He's got a little bit of side damage there. He may have spun out and took a little bit of damage, but it looks like the biggest thing hurting him at the moment is he has fallen out of the slipstream of the other drivers. And hopefully this little battle right here will let him catch on back up. And of course, in this race, pit strategies is going to have a huge impact. And Manic, I believe, is one of those that I've seen literally come into pit lane with 1 liter of fuel. So he is definitely one of those who has the pit stop strategies nailed, and his fuel consumption figured out very precisely. Let's go right here. ID4 still right on top of Manic. Sorry, it was Mike in the back. It's Mike that I was meaning to say earlier. I totally messed that up. Manic is right here in 8th, trying to keep ID4 fended off. We are now 3 laps into the 21. Nope, sorry, the 4 laps into the 21. Doesn't seem like many laps already. We've seen a lot of action, a lot of battles already, and some great moves, and a lot of side-by-side action, even a few 3-wides so far. That is the nature of this track. It's just a very long track, so we'll have long laps with lots and lots of close action. As we can see here, yep, Marcos is now catching up with Flip Flip. but Marcos has Aguilator right behind him. Aguilator has done very well so far in this championship. Faster has now managed to get himself 1.5 seconds. Oh, sorry. I stand corrected. 2 seconds in front of ESR Chef. Marcos, ooh, got a little too much to the inside there. It looked like he was just really trying to hang on to his car. That definitely looked to be a very, very scary moment for him, as we now have Flip Flip fixing to go. Oh, Flip Flip did manage to get around him on the outside. They're now still basically side by side. They'll go into this fast left. Oh, Flip Flip managed to pull out in front of him. And of course, going into these fast turns, these cars, because they're running such low downforce at the moment, dirty air is going to be a huge factor. As I just looked at the chat, and as I was saying how the dirty air behind the other cars going into the fast turns was going to be a factor, I looked over and saw Tomas in the chat talking about exactly that same thing. But yeah, as low downforce as they're running, it's going to be really hard for them on these fast turns, as we've already seen some of the drivers get kind of sucked into the dirty air vacuum and they just didn't have any aero going around the fast turn and just couldn't get the grip and just went right on off track. Marcos still has the pressure on Flip Flip. That was a very impressive move from Marcos. Let's go right back down here and check in on Dr. Fiend and Manic UK. They are both in a yellow livery, but they are slightly different shades of yellow, and they do not have the same sponsors, so these are not teammates. They are not working together. Dr. Fiend may be taking advantage of Manic's slipstream at the moment, but these two are definitely not working together. This is definitely a battle going on between these two. And I say that because throughout the season, when we see the two teammates get right there next to each other, we have seen them work together to make up several positions and then fight it out right at the very end. So I figured I should point out that though these are both yellow cars, they are not teammates. And behind them, we still have Hodgker putting massive pressure on Red 15. ID4 may be one of our first people to go in and pit. Like I said, we're going to see several different pit strategies throughout these from all the different drivers. Some are going to pit early, some are going to stay out as late as they can. Some are going to pit in somewhere in the, try to make 2 pit stops. It just really has a lot to do with how much fuel they wanted to carry and tire wear. From what I understand from looking through their Discord chat, tire wear on these cars is definitely a big factor. Alright, so that's Hodgker at 11th, putting pressure on Red 15 in 10th. In front of them we have Manic UK in 9th, putting pressure on Dr. Fiend. And farther up the grid we have Marcos in 6th, still managing to keep the pressure on Flip Flip. And I believe, knowing these two, we should definitely see one of them getting close enough to make a move here before long. I definitely can see Marcos getting up close enough to Flip Flip and attempting a move but within the next several laps. Yep, there he is right there, already reeled him on in. We'll keep an eye out on this battle for just a moment, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do the first rundown of the whole grid and see where everyone is sitting. And while we watch this battle for just a moment, I am going to real quick grab myself a swallow of water because this has been one action-packed race and is already starting to break my voice. So yeah, y'all bear with me, and I will be, well, I'm not going to be back because I'm not really going anywhere. Yep, this battle right here is going to stay going for quite a while. Up a little bit farther up, we have Alochamps in 4th, now catching up to ESR Chef, who is in 3rd. So we will definitely, before a whole lot longer, see Alochamps challenge Chef for a podium position. Oh yeah, he is not that far behind at all. Farther on. What's happening? I'm seeing a little change up back here. I saw some drivers moving around there, I thought. We can definitely see Agulator has now caught up to the back of Marcos. Looks like Flip was able to get himself into the 2-second range from Marcos. That'll let him have a little bit of a comfort zone. Not a lot, though. 2 seconds is not a lot. Further on down the grid, we still have Hodgker right there keeping up with Manic UK in 9th. Hodgker's in 9th, Manic UK is in 8th. Red at 15 is right behind them in 10th. And right behind Red in 11th is Dr. Fiend. So like I said earlier, it's the back of the grid here is really doing a great job of keeping up with each other. They are definitely managing to stay within each other's slipstream, and we're seeing a lot of close action out of these drivers tonight, which is absolutely fantastic. Javier, we're just going to have to ignore him. We've already acknowledged in the McGann V6 trophy cars that he is just... Javier is one of our resident aliens. He is one of those that if you do beat him, you get massive bragging rights. And I mean massive. There are a few of them. There's Javier, Cashnet, Ferrari, Sig. There's a few that I'm missing as well. We have, I believe, somewhere between about 5 and 10 just straight up aliens in here in GAVRA Racing that are just extremely even hard to catch on track, much less be able to beat. We're going to stick with these two right here, Red and Dr. Fiend, just a little bit longer before we do a grid rundown. Red has managed to pick up a little bit of a penalty, which could end up coming into play later on in the race at the end. Just depends on how close these drivers are to each other come the end of this race. We're now 6 laps into the 21. So we are about a quarter of the way through. I believe that was Hodgker in the back, got a little bit wide there. I believe he got caught in the dirty air and it just kind of took him right on off track, as we talked about earlier. Oh, now we have Red and I believe that is Dr. Fiend going side by side. It's like Red backed out of it a little bit to fall back behind Dr. Fiend and keep the pressure on him. And keeping the pressure on him is exactly what he is doing. It's really, to make the best of those last corners. I think that was a very smart move just to fall back behind Red. If he hadn't fallen back behind him, he would have been stuck on the inside, and Dr. Fiend most likely would have ended up taking the position anyway. This way, he was able to drop in behind him, put a lot of pressure on Dr. Fiend, and keep Dr. Fiend in the hot seat. That was actually a very smart and calculated move there. Let's real quick. Dr. Fiend is now catching up with Manic, it looks like. Yeah, as I said, the back of the field, just they get spread out a little bit, then they are right back in on top of each other. Let's real quick, I'm going to be brave here. Oh, wait a minute, we may see Red go for a move here through the turns. Not quite able to get himself in position. He did gain a little bit of ground, keeping himself within the slipstream. Looked like Dr. Fiend was managing to gain a little bit of ground on him though. So let's real quick check in on Agulator and Marcos. Agulator still has Marcos in the hot seat. Doing a great job of keeping the pressure on him. And I have not seen many drivers, except for maybe one or two, that after several laps, some of them took almost about half of the race to actually crack under the pressure of the driver behind them, but I believe almost every driver eventually succumbs to the pressure of having the other car right there behind you. Let's go up here. Allo Champs, not too far from ESR Chef. Oh, and it appears we have Pete Bibb showing up in the chat. How you doing, Pete? The drivers have been really fighting it out tonight in these cars. They are just absolutely flying down the track. And actually, that just reminded me, y'all give me just a second and I will get the map and speedo up, because we are seeing these cars get right at about 180 miles per hour down the straight. So it is incredible to watch. They are just absolutely flying. Alright, and there is our speedo. And there we go. There it will give us a map. There we go. So yeah, as you can tell on the map, most of the drivers really are right there, more or less within the same sector of each other. They're right there on top of each other. It appears, I believe that is ID4 and Mike HLB are our blue dots at the moment. ID4, I believe, went through and pitted, and Mike HLB also already went through and pulled one pit stop. And as per my usual, the way I usually do it, I'm not going to talk about everyone's fuel loads and everything just yet, because, as I always say, some of the drivers are watching. And I don't want to give anyone's pit strategy away, but we will start talking about that once we get to the end of the race. And we know all the drivers have came in and pulled their pit stop and grabbed their last amount of fuel. Because up until then, we will see, and we see every week, excuse me y'all, we will see drivers literally battling it out with one driver will have a full fuel load and the other driver will literally have almost none. If they hear me talking about that, well, that battle's kind of over. So kind of, then the cat's out of the bag. Up until then, it's everybody's guesswork, and it's up to the driver to figure it out, and driver instinct. And it makes for a lot better action out on track for us. Alright, so Allo Champs is not fixing to let ESR Chef go, not quite able to get himself in the position to make the move. So we'll go back down here, check in on Agulator and Marcos. Agulator still not quite able to get close enough to Marcos, though he is still in the slipstream. Let's go on back here to where all the action has really been happening. And I believe this is going to be... Yeah, though I was fixing to say it's not showing on our thing, but that is a battle between Hodgker and Dr. Fiend there. I believe Hodgker managed to make the pass. Dr. Fiend right there on top of him. Dr. Fiend is really keeping the pressure on Hodgker, sticking himself out to the sides to keep the pressure up, letting him know, hey, I'm looking to make that move. He's really checking him out, trying to see where he may or may not be weak out on track so he can get the move done. And this is definitely one of those tracks where you may spend several laps trying to get your opponent lined up just where you want them so you can make a move and actually pull the pass off. Of course, on shorter tracks, you have a much more opportunity, or bigger opportunity, because you're seeing all these corners a lot more to see where your opponent is actually weak or strong. And we all have our good points and bad points out on track. And one may be a little slower coming into the chicane and have a stronger exit, and that would be, you know, something you've got to figure out to see if you can get a move there. And Dr. Fiend has managed to stay up in the slipstream very nicely and is getting himself put right there behind Hodgker, just about in position to be able to make a move. And right there, it looked like Hodgker had a lot more exit speed out of those chicanes than Dr. Fiend did. And Dr. Fiend definitely carried a lot more speed going in. These are all things that you have to just all you can do is just kind of sit behind your opponent and you know, remember those things for the next lap. Looks like Aguilator has fallen out of the 1 second lead, 1 second mark from Marcos. I was fixing to go away from this battle, but Dr. Fiend really took great advantage of the slipstream there and put himself literally right up under Hodgker's rear fin here. Not quite able to get up there next to him going into the turn. Hodgker definitely is carrying more speed going into the turns than Dr. Fiend, but not a whole lot because he's really not able to get away from Dr. Fiend. So Hodgker may be carrying a slight amount more speed going in, but Dr. Fiend is carrying a little bit more. I'm sorry. I believe it is Hodgker is carrying more speed coming out of the turns, and Dr. Fiend is carrying a little bit more going into some of them. Though I believe on the last corner, it was the exact opposite. And Tomas is also still in the chat, doing a great job at keeping me company, and he also is in there talking about being able to set yourself up to make a move down some of the turns. Yeah, Dr. Fiend is really trying to get himself set up at the moment for a good pass. It is really key to stay right there on top of your opponent, and you almost have to, as we talked about earlier, manage to get in, be able to pull the switchback. Or, again, as some call it, the undercut. Dr. Fiend, yeah, it looked like he was trying to get himself set up for it there, but not quite able to do it. It looked like it actually cost him a little bit of time trying to get himself set up for it. And of course, though, he's fixing to have a little bit, this is going to increase his chances here because now they're catching up to Hodgker. Hodgker will be on the defense, or I'm sorry, they are catching up to Manic UK. Now, Snaker, I gave you a big shout out earlier about how you were setting up a totally awesome and I'm super jealous rig, and you weren't able to get your monitors remounted and everything before the race. Which I know you wanted to race, but at the same time, you're getting to mess with some really cool stuff, so I'm not sure which I would rather do, and if I did make up my mind, I don't think it would be appropriate for me to say it on air. Yes, Tomas. Aguilator's been getting some really good exit speed on the corners too, and managing to get himself a good run. And building on that, yeah, you managed to get yourself a good exit speed, on your opponent. And that can really set you up for a good run down the straight to get up in behind your opponent's slipstream and really make the best of it and come right on out around them. And once you do, there's not a whole lot they can do about it. You've used the slipstream to get about a 5 to 10 mile an hour boost on them, and so when you pull out from around them, that's it, you're gone. I have to say though, Hodgker is really putting his foot down on some of these corner exits now. He was being, I believe, a little bit slower on corner entry than Dr. Fiend, but he has all of a sudden changed his strategy. Though he may be listening, so I may have to start being quiet about what I see these drivers doing. It would not be the first time. Oh no! Oh no, Dr. Fiend! Oh, come on. He's getting his car back around. Oh, Dr. Fiend, we're going to call that a commentator's curse right there, man. You're still close enough. You can still catch back up to Hodgker. It didn't cost you too bad. Dr. Fiend y'all saw it, he touched the grass right there, and it just spun him right around, unfortunately. But did a fantastic job of gathering his car back up and getting it going again. I must say, that was an outstanding job. I believe he spun his car completely around, I believe about 3 times, and managed to get it pointed back in the right direction. So great job from Dr. Fiend there. I mean, very unfortunate, but fantastic job of handling his car. And he managed to pull that off, if y'all haven't noticed, with 0 damage. He did not hit the wall, which is definitely where I would have gone. So we'll move right back up here to the field to Hodgker, who is now caught behind Manic UK, which is gonna let Dr. Fiend catch right on back up. We've seen Dr. Fiend really catching up to the back of Hodgker pretty quick in some of these turns. So I believe within a lap or two, we will see him right behind him again. And we are now at lap 10 of the 21, so I believe that is close enough for us to call it the halfway mark. Oh, and Tomas is saying he would go ahead. Oh no! As Hodgker has spun it going around the turn there and is now behind Dr. Fiend. Oh no, I did not see what was happening. I was looking, catching up with the chat there. I believe he may have just gone in a little too fast, possibly suffered from a little dirty air, lost what little aero grip he's running on his back tires, and his rear end just came right on around. I must say though, that was a very impressive job of holding on to the car. That was absolutely incredible. We saw him, he was completely sideways, left some massive black marks from all 4 tires, but managed to hold on to the car. That was an incredible catch. It really was. It cost him a position, but an incredible catch nonetheless. But we should start seeing, we've seen some of the drivers already come in for their early pit stops, but this is about the time we should start seeing a lot of the leaders coming on in for pit stops. We can see how much fuel Hodgker is running at the moment. Again, I'm not going to talk about fuel loads till I know all the drivers have done their last pit stop. That way I'm not giving too much away. Let's check in on our leader, Javier. Okay, we can see how much fuel he's running there. Actually, we're just going to go ahead and go down the whole grid. We'll have a look at how much fuel they're running. Alright, faster. Yep, we can see how much fuel he has. Let's check in on third, which is Alochamps. Alright, fourth is ESR Chef. Fifth is Marcos. And remember, Marcos and Manic, I believe, are both the 2 that I've seen literally come into the pits with 1 liter of fuel. Those 2 really have their fuel consumption nailed. Alright, Agulator in 6th. 7th is Manic UK. Dr. Fiend is 8th. 9th is Hodgker. Hodgker's still right there on the back of Dr. Fiend. We've seen these two battle it out so far the entire race. I believe we are about 40 minutes into this race, and these two are still battling it out. And I do not see this ending anytime soon either. I believe these two are going to battle it out all the way to the end. Flip in 10th. Alright, so we can see how much fuel he has. Let's check in on Red in 11th. As Manic is going on through the pit. Let's check out ID4 in 12th. We can have a look at how much fuel he's carrying. And let's check in on Mike HLB. Have a look at how much fuel he is carrying. So, yeah, we have some of these drivers, we are seeing a massive difference in pit stop strategies. Let's check in on, there we go, let's check in on Manic real quick. Yep, looks like he's taking fuel and tires. This is going to be about where the little bit of space is going to start coming in from pit stop strategies. But if y'all looked at everyone's fuel load, well, I can't talk about it, but we'll see it all play out very soon. And while the drivers try to figure all that out, I too am also going to mute my mic for 1 second and grab me another swallow of water so I can keep commentating on this fantastic race. Though I do have to say Javier in first, now with a 19.3 second lead. So we are definitely going to be checking his car out after the end of this race. I believe it is quite possible he smuggled in his Megane Trophy V6 car, and that is what he has under the hood of this Ferrari 33 SP. But there is definitely something up with his car. We're going to really need to check him out at the end of the race. No, actually, Javier is he's that talented, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I'm going to grab a swallow of water, everyone, and actually, let's go up here to Javier. Oh, sorry, y'all. That was definitely the wrong button to push. Bad commentator, wrong button push. Y'all excuse the quick change to no graphics to change back to graphics. Alright, so we're going to, where it is, there it is. And we were just going to take a lap around the track with Javier, so let's go down to, not go with Dr. Fiend. Let's go with Flip. We're going to take a lap around the track with Flip while I grab me a quick swallow of water. so let's jump back out of Flip Flip's car. Let's go down here to, yep, as promised, Dr. Fiend and Hodgker still battling it out. These two, I tell you, they're not going to let each other go. They're going to be together till the end of this race fighting. Oh yeah, they'll catch back up to each other here in just a little while. It shouldn't take them too much longer for the leaders to start gathering themselves back up. They always get right on top of each other right at the end. And of course, I've already figured out that if I go ahead and make up the podium about 10 minutes before the end of the race, it kind of guarantees us a great battle right here at the end somehow. Flip Flip has the pace to catch Allochamps, but it's gonna be... Allochamps is really quick. And Allochamps is the current leader for the championship. And he's taken first place position in several of the races. He is extremely difficult to catch. But I agree, Flip Flip does have a good chance of catching him. He's right there within 2 seconds. Oh, we got a little bit of a bump there. Looks like Hodgker slowed down a little bit faster than Dr. Fiend thought he was going to coming into that turn. Hopefully that it did not tear up his aero. These cars are extremely aero sensitive, even though they are, as I keep saying, they're running almost no downforce around this track at the moment. And as we can see on the map, we still have the back of the grid here. The mid to back of the field is literally still right on top of each other, just over the halfway mark of this race. And of course, we got a camera guy sitting behind the bushes drinking beer, apparently. Yeah. Not sure what's up with my camera guy here. Camera guy! Alright, somebody call this camera guy, fire him. He's just sitting out behind the bushes drinking beer. He's not doing his job. Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, shit. I see what happened. I see why our camera guy was just sitting around drinking beer. We had the camera on Dr. Fiend, and we've lost Dr. Fiend. We have lost Dr. Fiend. I believe Dr. Fiend just got disconnected. Oh, crap. He was having a magnificent race. I know he is very pissed right now at the moment. And I think it's very safe to say that was definitely a disconnect, because he was having, like I said, he was having a great race. Very, very unfortunate. I do not see how I managed to miss that. He wasn't picking up any lag or anything else. Very, very unfortunate that it did drop him. And him and Ann Hodgker were literally right there on top of each other the whole time. We still do have 11 drivers. Actually, I believe we lost someone else. We started with 13, so we lost Dr. Fiend. I'm not sure who else we lost. We lost someone else, though. Yeah, definitely very unfortunate about that. That sucks. Yeah, I know he had to have been having a lot of fun. Alright, so all the drivers still are, their backs spread out a little bit. We're getting close to 2/3 of the way through this race. So let's go back up. We'll do a complete rundown again and give everyone a little bit of camera time while they are just trying to relax and keep their pace up. And which, if you're a racer, you know those two don't really go together all that great. There's To keep your pace up, you can't really relax. We have Javier still in the lead, an incredible 18.5-second lead over Faster. That is just a, yeah, we're definitely checking his car out. I'm gonna have to message Crazy here in just a few minutes and get him to go on down to the pit, just to make sure that he gets a hold of Javier's car as soon as he brings it in off the track. Faster is holding on to second. He has a 7-second lead over Alichamps, who is in third. So all Faster needs to do is just keep doing exactly what he's doing, driving some very consistent, good, clean laps, and he will finish second. Of course, as long as he doesn't take it a little easy. It's very easy in those situations to let your lap times go down a little bit and you don't even realize it. So it's that point where it's very hard to stay concentrated, but the most important part of the race to stay concentrated. Alichamps in third. Alichamps has a 3-second lead over Flip Flip, who is in fourth. There's Flip Flip on behind him. So we could still see Flip Flip catch up to Alichamps and challenge him for that podium position. As I just said, Flip Flip currently in fourth. And Flip Flip has a 8-second gap between him and ESR Chef behind him. It looks like we've got a little bit of traffic catching up with a back marker back there. ESR Chef in fifth. There is a 1.8-second gap between ESR Chef and Marcos. We could see this battle take up again here for long. These two are also two we've seen battling it out through the entire race. Yeah, we could see Marcos just in the background there. There we are. There's Marcos. He's just outside of the slipstream. If he can manage to close in just a little bit more, he'll be able to take advantage of ESR Chef's slipstream and really be able to catch on up to him. Though Marcos has Agulator not that very far behind him either. As you can looking at the map, most of the drivers, there may be a 2 to 3 second gap, but for the most part, everyone is pretty much right on top of each other and doing a great job of keeping up with each other. Because, like I said earlier, it's very important to stay in your opponent's slipstream on this track. You are both actually faster for it. You kind of push them down the track and they kind of just pull you down the track. Manic UK sitting in 8th. Down to 7 laps to go out of the 21. And track temperature is going to stay relatively about the same. They had heavy clouds coming in for their random weather slot for tonight. Here at GAVRA Racing, we tend to have 1 or 2 established weather slots that we know of a week or 2 in advance, but then there is also 1 random weather slot that is announced 15 minutes before the race. So really helps add that little real-life flavor kind of to it. You know, you never really know. You have an idea of what the rain or the weather could do going off of your first 2 weather slots. If they're both clear, you have a, you know, you feel fairly certain that it's not going to come in and rain at the end of the race, though we have seen it come up and do it. I don't. Marcos and Aguilera are being pretty neck and neck there. Those two are also. We're going to see them battle all the way right there to the end. And let's see here. ID4 currently in 10th. It looks like Marcos is just about caught up with ESR Chef. We saw the notification come up there that he was within the 1 second mark, but then it disappeared. And Mike HLB is in 11th. Looks like, I believe he's got a, I don't mind going ahead and saying for him, because I don't believe we're going to see him come back in. I believe Mike HLB now has enough fuel to go the rest of the race, so he does stand a good chance of being able to at least make up maybe one position with everyone else's fuel or pit stop strategies coming into play, because he's set. He does not need to come back in. Let's go up here too. Looks like ID4 is going on through the pit. Let's check in on him real quick. Just there we go. Not sure if he took tires or not. He may not have been taking tires on this pit stop. He may only be going for fuel. So we'll let him have his pit stop, and we'll go back up here to Marcos, who has really closed the gap up on ESR Chef. They have Aguilera right behind them. If these two battle it out too much, they're going to find themselves with Aguilera right on top of them, involved in this battle as well. Oh, looks like Marcos took good advantage of the slipstream and managed to get out around Chef. Chef's still right behind him though. Chef moving back over to stay in the slipstream. Looks like he's closing that gap pretty quick. Oh, ESR Chef has really got the pressure on Marcos at the moment. Oh, Marcos went just a little bit wide, and it put ESR Chef right there on top of him. ESR Chef doing a great job managing to not make any contact there. I believe they were actually probably with only about a foot or two apart. Or if you don't use my messed up measuring system, I would say they were just under 1 meter apart. So yeah, Chef doing a great job of getting on the brakes and avoiding the contact there. It looks like that may have shaken each driver just a little bit, made them back off just a tiny amount, not much. Aguilera just about has the gap between him and ESR Chef down to 2 seconds. Still really trying to close that gap on up. Javier now with a 27-second lead over Faster. How can you be faster than Faster? Oh, that's right. Javier's an alien. That's how. Yeah, I really bad cheesy jokes. I know. Hodgker's still right there with Manic UK. I'm also very upset that we lost Dr. Fiend there. I was really enjoying watching the battles play out between him, Hodgker, and Manic UK. Those were absolutely fantastic to watch. Looks like Hodgker's not quite able to get himself up there in the position to make the move, but up here towards the front, we have Flip now catching up with Aloe Champs finally. He was within the 1 second range. It's now back to about 1.5 seconds. We should see him close on up here shortly and possibly go for a move. We're now on lap 16 of the 21. Agulator still right there on top of ESR Chef. And behind them, Hodgker still has Manic UK under pressure. Still keeping up with each other. Oh no, Agulator went too deep right in there. It looks like he may have got stuck in the dirty air behind ESR Chef, and it took him right on off of the track. We've seen several of the drivers tonight get caught in that exact same spot. Looks like Agulator's really heavy on the right foot right now, though, trying to catch up to ESR Chef. Yeah, we can see that gap is very quickly disappearing. Let's check in on Flip and Aloe Champs. Flip still not quite able to catch all the way up to Aloe Champs, but he has himself in a great position. And these two, I believe, are teammates. Let's check Aloe Champs' car. Yes. Now, these two are teammates, so I definitely believe they are working together at the moment. They know if they stick together, like I said earlier, the car in front of you will pull you down the track, and somehow you also push them down the track. So you make each other faster by staying in a close group like they are. Oh, the teammates have gone for separate pit stop strategies. Of course, I was just fixing to say, once it starts getting close to the end of the race, we will see these two stop working together. They will start battling each other. Flip is coming on into the pit. So let's check in on Aloe Champs. Alright, we may not, I do not believe we'll see Aloe Champs come back in for another pit stop. I believe we're going to see him out for the duration. He should have enough fuel to make it. Flip in the pit. Hodgker still trying to catch up to Manic UK. And we've got Mike in the pit. Oh, he's definitely taking something. Oh no, he's taking more fuel. I thought he had enough fuel to actually last the distance. Something may have happened and he had to go back to, I'm sure most of these drivers do like me and have a oh shit pit strategy. I think I tend to use mine more than I do my regular pit strategy. I should probably just stop calling it my oh shit pit strategy and just call it my pit strategy. We're still right there on top of Manic. Alright, 17 laps into the 21. So if everyone wants to start picking out their driver of the day, probably at about lap 19, I will go ahead and ask y'all for y'all's pick for driver of the day so I can go ahead and get that part done. And then that way I only have the podium for the last 2 laps to make sure I get right. So yeah, definitely go ahead and be picking out who your pick for driver of the day is. I'm going to go ahead and say my vote is going to go to Dr. Fiend, who was having a great race and suffered a disconnect. I mean, and that just, if you're a driver, you know how frustrating that is. And just because he isn't still in the race does not mean we can't name him Driver of the Day. So that's who I'm going to name for my pick of Driver of the Day. Though, as always, you, the viewers' votes by far outweigh mine. So yeah, y'all pick your Driver of the Day and let me know at about lap 19. And I just noticed that because Javier is a stand-in driver, oh no, Hodgker has got wide. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was Manic got wide and allowed Hodgker on through. That turn is starting to really get to everybody. I think tire wear is definitely starting to be a factor this late into the race. And we're definitely seeing the results going into that high-speed right-hander right there. Well, thank you. Sorry, my voice is getting close to having it. Thank you, Tomas, for hanging out in the chat and keeping me company. Definitely make sure you check out all the other races and you know, enjoy your dinner. And let's see here, Javier, since he's a stand-in driver, I do not have a graphic for. So let me see if I can figure out who he is replacing. Okay, Javier is replacing K-Morse. So when it comes podium time, unfortunately Javier will not have a graphic, but K-Morse will. Sorry, everyone. It appears Marcos also is a stand-in driver. Though I really feel it may not be. So y'all excuse me, I'm just doing a quick check here. Nope, yep, Marcos is also a stand-in driver, so I need to figure out who he is standing in for. And Tomas also says in the chat that he's going to vote for Dr. Fiend for Driver of the Day. Yeah, he was having a great race, unfortunately, and got the disconnect. Alright, we are on lap 18 of the 21. All the drivers have got themselves a little spread out. Manic and Hodgker are still about our closest drivers besides Agulator and ESR Chef. Only 3 seconds separating them and 5 seconds separating ESR Chef and Marcos. And yeah, y'all excuse me, I am looking through our chat and to try to see if I can figure out who Marcos is replacing. I'm not seeing who Marcos is replacing. I think I should concentrate on the race at hand instead of worrying about that then. We are on lap 19 of the 21. Let's check in on our leader. We'll go through and give us a whole nother rundown real quick here. We have Javier in the lead in first. Faster is second, and to interrupt myself, we've got to go back here and check in on Aguilator and ESR Chef. They have now found themselves within the 1 second of each other again. I think we have enough time to go back and finish the rundown real quick, though. Yeah, he's just got up close to him, but he still needs to close that gap on up, so we can definitely... Nope, wait a minute. Oh, no, he managed to get the slipstream really good right there and really catch up. Aguilator almost in position to make the move on Chef. I believe we could see Aguilator go for the move almost any time now. Ooh, Chef got a little bit wide right there. Took full advantage of the curb on the exit. And it bought him a little bit of space from Aguilator there. Very, very nice. So yeah, we'll go ahead. We're going to go back up here. We'll finish our rundown. Javier, of course, our alien, is in first. Faster is second. Alachamps is third. Marcos is holding on to fourth. ESR Chef in fifth, but under massive pressure from Aguilator at the moment, so he's really trying to hold on to that fifth place position. Chef has had some amazing battles in this race, so we know he really wants to hold on to that fifth place at the moment. Of course, it is always great to have a good battle right here at the end of a long race. You're tired, you're fatigued, your concentration is down, your right foot is half asleep. You really can't tell how hard you're hitting the brake or the accelerator. It's just great stuff all the way around. It's just completely intense. ESR Chef managed to get himself a little bit more space from Aguilator. All right, so Aguilator sitting in sixth. Flip is sitting in seventh. Hodgster is in eighth. Ninth is Manic UK. How you doing, Lennon? Good to see you in the chat, man. You showed up just in time for the last couple of laps. Javier has literally, just like in the McGann Trophy V6, he has just gone out and outran everybody hands down. I mean, as you can see there, he now has a 30-second lead over Faster. It's been incredible to watch him. We've got ID4 sitting in 10th. And rounding out the bottom of the field in 11th is Mike HLB. His pace has been incredible. He had a little bit of bad luck early on in the race, and then I think it just set his pit strategy off. Where Mike's it just put him in the wrong position on track with his pit stop strategy, and he just hasn't been able to make the time back up. But he's been doing a great job. His pace has been fantastic. He's also one that every time I have raced with him, he hands down beats the crap out of me. He's really good on track. Alright, so we have Javier has started lap 20 of the 21. I'm doing pretty good, Lennon, man. I've really been enjoying this race. If you can't tell, the first part of the race was really action-packed, and it just about completely killed my voice. So after about the first 20 minutes of the race going, I've just been struggling. My voice feels like some of the drivers' tires probably do at the moment, just ready to give out at any moment. But it's been a great race. We've seen a lot of action. We had a lot of 2 wides going through the turns. We had a couple of 3 wides going through the turns. No major incidences. A couple nice friendly paint rubs. Is about it, really. For the most part, a lot of the drivers have got caught up in the dirty air of their opponent in front of them. Of course, you're a driver, so you know how that does. You get caught in that dirty air, and you lose all your downforce and your aero grip, and you just go right off track. So I don't want to leave these 2 alone for too long. Got to check in on Javier. Javier is about a third of the way through on the final lap, or his final lap. Oh yeah, it's a great race from the start. I mean, there was a buttload of action. We could see Agulator manage to go for the move on Chef before this race is actually over here. Go back up here. I want to make sure I don't miss Javier coming across the line. Okay, so now I know which car is Javier's. And we're going to stay right here with Agulator and ESR Chef, because like I said, they're going to be ones that are going to be absolutely killing here, right here, or giving us a little battle right here at the end. And we could possibly see a pass made, though Chef has been killing it with his right foot on the accelerator and managing to keep the gap fairly nice here. You notice how I had to go back and kind of restate everything so it sounded like I meant to mess up, kind of. But yeah, no, I totally messed that up. And let's go back up here real quick and check on Javier again. Not quite. He's still got a little ways to go. He's about just over halfway around the track. Well, no, he's getting close. He's about 2/3. He's getting close to the end there. So let's go check in on this battle between Agulator and ESR Chef. Javier should be getting close to the line any moment now. Not quite. He still has a little bit left to go. I just want to make sure we catch our leader coming across the line. Oh, Chef got a little bit wide there, and it's letting Agulator catch up. He's definitely up in the slipstream. Could we see a last-minute move here? They are also both on the final lap. Oh, Agulator's pushing very hard. They're going to try to go for the 2 wide. He's catching up to him. Oh, both of them catching dirty air off of each other there, trying to make sure they have room. Oh, Agulator made the pass. Oh, incredible driving from those two. Aguilator was really able to get up behind him, take advantage of the slipstream, and get that move done. And as that was happening, I believe, yes, our leader Javier has won the race and come across. But I want to try to catch the other drivers, but these two are still battling it out. I'm so sorry, Javier and Faster and Alichamps and everyone else, but I want to stick with these two and see if we get one more last-minute move done out of these two. If y'all can't tell, I managed to save just a little bit of excitement right here for the end. Yeah, I agree, Lennon. That was a hell of a move. I was hoping we might see that, but I kind of did not expect it. And I'm sure you can tell that it really kind of got me pumped right back up for the end of this here race. As you can also hear, my accent really came out right there. Right here, getting close to coming across the line. Chef has really got the pressure on Alichamps. Oh, he's right there on top of him. Can he get out around him? Oh, I don't believe he's quite able to get out around him there. That was a very well won 5th place from Aguilator there. That was absolutely incredible. And I believe we may have... Nope, all the drivers are kind of taking it nice and easy. That was one hell of a move right there at the end. Did not see that coming at all. Looks like, oh, we've got a few drivers having a little bit of fun out there. Alichamps, he's pulled it on off to the side and parked it. Where is our leader, Javier? Javier. Oh, we've got him giving us some spins. There we go. Oh, yeah, the drivers are definitely having some fun here, and they deserve it. That was a hell of a race. It really was. It was actually equally as impressive as the wreck we just witnessed. They really got some good speed going there for that impact. As you can tell, it tore 3 cars all to hell and back. That was a great race. Yeah, so everybody, yeah, definitely after it's done, go back, check it out from the beginning. It was very impressive. Just in time for Hodge to see Hodgkirk and Manic coming across the line, giving us a little flash there. And behind them, we've got ID4 still coming along. We'll stick with him and see if we can manage to catch him come across the line. He still has, I believe, 50 seconds. As much as I do this, you would think I would be able to figure out when exactly the race has stopped, but I still haven't. Oh, I agree, Lennon. The Aguilator saved him just enough to be able to push like hell at the end of the race. That was very impressive. If I hadn't already named Driver of the Day, that move would have got Aguilator Driver of the Day right there. But we have already named our Driver of the Day. Oh, you missed a little bit of it, Pete, but it was really good. That was really impressive. My voice is almost completely gone at this point. They've really kept me going. I got a little bit of a break about halfway through, and that was it. Alright. And that was our race. Javier, with a very impressive lead over everyone, pulled off first. Faster was second. Alichamps third. Marcos fourth. Aguilator 5th, ESR Chef in 6th, Flip 7th, Hodgker 8th, Manic UK in 9th, ID4 10th, Mike HLB 11th, and we lost Dr. Fiend, and I'm ashamed to admit I don't know which other driver we lost, but we did lose 2 drivers throughout the race. Dr. Fiend was, if I was him, I'd be very upset. He was having a great race, battled the whole time with ID4 and Manic UK, and then just out of the blue just got disconnected. So we named Dr. Fiend Driver of the Day because he definitely earned it from the performance he was having. I mean, I expected the battle he was in to last the entire race, and it would have. they would never have got away from each other. They battled it out through 3/4 of the race, right on top of each other. It was very impressive to watch. So I couldn't help it. He really did deserve driver of the day for his performance. K-Morse kind of gets the credit for Javier's win because I do not have graphics made for Javier as he was a stand-in driver, but K-Morse gets the points as well. So if y'all just want to like look at the car and just imagine Javier's name where it says K-Morse, please do that. Javier won first. Faster with a very well won second. He had quite a gap there as well. Very good clean race. Amazing start from him. Alo Champs, our championship leader at the moment, though I looked at the points earlier today and I went over them a little bit last night, did some quick rough math, very rough math. He has not cinched the win yet. The championship is still up for grabs. It is not guaranteed to be Alo Champs. This third place position definitely opens up the possibilities for one of the other drivers to take the lead within the next 2 races. Y'all definitely need to make sure you check those out. As I said earlier, the administrators saved the best for last for these cars. Tonight we had Le Mans. Next week we have Silverstone. I absolutely love Silverstone. It's going to be amazing to watch them in these cars around this track. And then the last race will be Spa. And y'all know that's going to be great. And Lennon in the chat is giving a huge congratulations to the podium. And I have, as y'all can see, the sun's going down. So I've got just enough time for another quick shameless advertisement for GAVRA Racing. We all know how shameless I am. And yeah, go to the website. GAVRA has been updating a lot of stuff. He's been completely redoing a lot of stuff as far as the way it looks and everything else. And I have to say, it looks amazing. So go check that out, and there is also tons of information on there on current seasons, past seasons, driver stats, past season stats, track histories, including in track histories are the actual history of the track, as well as what GAVRA Racer has set the fastest lap on the track. So the amount of stats that GAVRA has on the website are absolutely huge. He has a lot of stuff there. And there is also links to the Discord channel and a link to the Patreon site if you wish to become a Patreon supporter. We are, after all, community driven. It is you, the viewers, the drivers, the administration, and GAVRA, who spent a lot of time organizing everything. And of course, you, the viewers. If y'all didn't watch it, well, we wouldn't have a lot to organize. So, yeah. Check it all out. The links are in the description below, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit the like and definitely the subscribe. Our goal for the end of this season was to try to reach 1,000 subscribers, and I believe, again, when I looked before the stream, we were at 800 and I believe 81, maybe 82. So we don't have that many left to go. We've got about 2.5 weeks, and I really think we can get the subscribers we need to make that 1,000 subscriber mark. So definitely smash the crap out of that subscribe button. Help us get there. And I guess it is time to say good night. The sun's gone down, and thanks everyone so much for tuning in and watching the race. And I guess the biggest thanks of all goes to the GAVRA administrators and GAVRA himself, who make all of this possible for all of us. And I have been Jukebox73, your commentator, and it's dark. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So, good night, everyone. Oh, and stick around. I've got all the standings that I'm fixing to put up. Sig does a great job, so y'all make sure to check those out, and I won't be talking. Good night. And last minute, Lennon just reminded me in the chat. Make sure you tune in Monday to catch the McGann V6 trophy car. I will be broadcasting it, and the guys have been putting on some great races, and they will be at Algarve, which is an absolute amazing track. And so once again, I'll shut up, leave y'all to actually read through Sig's standings, which you have to admit, they look absolutely fantastic. He puts a lot of work into these, so if you're on the Discord, give him a big shout out for the work he puts into the standings and organizing the Discord. There are several hundred of us at this point, and it is a lot of work on him. So give him a huge shout out and a huge thanks for the work he puts in.